On this episode of Eye in the Sky, we've got perfect anti-tank plays, vehicles getting hit by mortars, and bloody close quarters infantry combat. This is Narva, and the Canadians will be invading while Russia defends. The Canadians will be using their 1st Canadian Mechanized Brigade to take advantage of their fast-moving and hard-hitting LAVs to support their infantry. The Russians will be defending the city with their 6th separate tank brigade, a fully armored unit with plenty of tracked vehicles, and 2 tanks, the T-90A and T-72B3. Both teams will be fighting across this map, Narva Invasion V2, with the Canadians starting at the northwest corner up in the top left of your screen, with the first active point being Radio Station. If they secure that, they'll extend their invasion with extra tickets and work to push out east until they kick the Russians out of the last point, Ivangorod Krepost. But the Canadians can't get all the way there unless they first take Radio Station, so both attackers and defenders will be putting a lot of effort to make this first point count. We'll be on board with the Canadians' command comms, meaning that you'll hear all the squad leaders talking on the radio, and they'll be blue on the map. Russia will be red, and that's the rundown. Now, let's get into the action. We are off. Canadians, the command chat have been talking for the past couple minutes on how they want to do this, and a lot of chatter about sending it right down Main Street. So we'll have to see. You have Russian sapper in the middle of the road, and he's going to watch as an LUV goes. Oh, wow, they are trucking it. Very gutsy call, I guess, from the get-go here. LUV just going straight into the field. Lav opening up as well. You got multiple LAVs guarding the lodges, and I love that. Actually defending the lodges here.
Let them do what? Huh?
Nice little mechanized push. You really want to take advantage of your vehicles. Don't just go all onesie-twosie here. Infantry dismount, push up with your mechanized Vix, and you should get a good little ridge. Hold on to this AT. Is he going to be able to pop up and pop him? No. Has to lay down, and he might actually have to put his AT away. And no, he's actually able to engine him. Wow, incredible play by the Russian AT. And he's going to be able to get out a dodge as well. RPG 26. And I think he might be down now. No, he's not. War Criminal on crack. Or Zaz, one of the two. And GOG Man actually pops his with AT as well. And a second Lav gets engined. Oh my goodness. And hit from way downtown. Under the antenna, AT is just tearing into the Lavs. Another one, and that might cause it to get on fire. Ooh, black and dark smoke. And fire's actually started. Yet one crewman actually dies from the burning. Oh, RPG hits so low. Really close to knocking out that Lav. And Canadians are in a really tough spot right out the gate here. Crewman gonna have to try to get that fire out. And no, not gonna be able to. Through the smoke, he sends it. There you go. RPG knocks one Lav. And the Russians have a very good defense here right out the gate. And hold on a second, something else just popped. And it looks like, I think, another LUV. Yes, another LUV runs into some MTLBs.
Heading down the southwest town. It's gonna meet Squad 9. If you head off to that main road, you might try and engage it. It looks unarmed.
Infantry now trying to push up this hillside.
9. What are you doing?
Command a little confused on what exactly they're trying to do, but the most important thing is you have a fob that's set up, and so they're going to be able to start pushing into the point here. LAV is going to try to mop up the vehicles. Oh, actually knocks out, I believe that was the PKT MTLB. So one machine gun gone, but you also have another MTLB just on the riverbed here. So scratch one of the tracked Vics for the Russians. Here's the capture area, this dome, and Canadians in blue, Russians in red. We can see a nice little front line developing, and you also have mortars hitting. I want to say that these are actually offensive mortars, and you do have offensive mortars. AI Easy and your boy D-Lo led by Naz, so Blue 9 has mortars going off just outside the objective, and that's actually not a bad spot originally, infantry in the tree line, but I do think these mortars are now a bit off. Need to shift them closer towards that antenna.
Enemy radio close to my radio mark, close to my observe. It's in that area. Enemy Logia heading eastbound.
Good comms on command chat. Actually very surprised at the information that they're disseminating here. Specific vehicle locations. And using words that are not like on me and over there. Very important. And mortars are now knocking on the door. A Gory gets smoked by an HE mortar. The Worm just stays bipoded, trying to just man his machine gun. But smoke is going to cover as name 124. Senpai does go down. I vandalize, tagged in the shoulder, and he's going to hit the deck. Mopped up as well. I think that's Zaz out on the rocks.
Rog, 9 copies. What up? Not 9, but 8 copies.
Another smoke popped up, and that actually might be a good one.
Returning back to main base.
GL smoke, that's that blue GL smoke off on the left side of your screen. And then name 124 trying to push up. Oh no! Smoked by friendly fire! Worked so hard to get into the objective. Destroyed by his own LAV. The beautiful red, white, and blue of Canada. The 51st state. Rolling on up into the point. That is a joke. That is a joke. Canada now LAV dropping some drive smoke as he circles around. He did get hit with another RPG-26. He might mop him up. And yes, RPG-26 Zaz does go down. He's been all over with both his rifle and AT. Lyra Box trying to go help him up. And now you finally have more infantry with Lieutenant Chris up on the right side here, pushing through the smoke. And goes full auto. Boshin goes down. See you later, dead on the outside too. Agori still flat on his face. And Lieutenant Chris now coming around the backside, and he might have seen the back of Matuza. Good comms from Agori down below. Agori actually hearing the footsteps of Lieutenant Chris, but just not soon enough.
We need more people to actually push, not just all admire from a distance.
No one admired from the distance. Chris coming in and knocks out Feline, but gets mopped up by Nico. So Chris with like a 4 or 5 piece actually. And I think we now have some close air support as well. Helicopter coming in to provide some support, and another MTLB. Tickle Me Elmo 96 and Sully. Easy mop up for the Lab 6. Just pouncing on this lightly armored MTLB. And that is very important because this MTLB, they've been able to creep up the hill a little bit, cut off the infantry support, trying to get onto the objective at radio. And as we can see here, they need all the help they can get, the Canadians. Lieutenant Chris has been mopped up off the objective. Mortars are silent now for whatever reason. But you have one Russian. Oh my God, did he knocked out pretty much the entire team. 2 grenades, knock out almost an entire squad or 2 squads, and now with another one. Unbelievable. Are you kidding me? Who is this? Salco 505 knocks out Jopa, I do, Boggy, Lieutenant Chris, Sir Richard James, Geonosis, name 124. Oh, name 124 is actually in the LEV behind him, and a couple more who gave up. What a play by Salco. 2 grenades and following up with a couple nice shots with his AK. Havoc trading blows with Vengeful.
Enemy infantry on map, sir, Mark. Heading up towards squad 9's Logi.
184 tickets to 754.
Enemy Logi heading right under my helicopter. Heading straight to airfield.
You really need to get these infantry on the objectives.
Just a Russian.
He came from the south. He's right under my helicopter. He's in the airfield.
Good shots. Lyra Box goes down. And once again, I believe these are offensive mortars. I was going to say defensive for a second.
Eyes on enemy FOB again.
No enemy mortars on the map for Russia. Another AT. Is that Zaz? It is. Zaz knocking out another engine, and also he's doing it with the RPG-26, one of the weakest anti-tank weapons in the game. But hey, it's still a rocket. Still an RPG, and he's showing that it's still going to work. Zaz tossing some, I think, a grenade, trying to knock out the group of infantry here, and he's going to push the hill. Zaz pushing the hill. Gets his rifle up, knocks out one, and gets knocked out himself. But brave defense here by Zaz, doing a little bit of everything. Anti-infantry, anti-armor, 174 to 748. And once again, it's very important if you're an RPG-26 or even just RPG-7, but you don't have the tandem rounds, AT-4, Law. If you are these weaker AT weapons, what he's doing right now is so important. This LAV was about to be on top of this ridge and actually suppressing the entire building. As you can see, the infantry is pushing up, so that combined arms would have probably wiped the objective at the moment. You would have gotten high explosive up where Xander and Daz are on the top, and then infantry pushing down low, and now the Lav has to fall back. He was engine, so he's disabled for a bit. He now's probably wanting to repair, because losing that engine, you're a little nervy now. And furthermore, he can't just focus on the objective. He's now having to focus and clearing out the left side here, so that way he doesn't get hit again. So you've now caused this one vehicle. Oh, and the tandem comes in, and man, he got very unlucky in how that hit. You can see still a pretty much full health bar. I want to say it maybe just hit like the top machine gun or something like that. Seems like this LAV just shrugged it right off. The flying toaster lining up a shot himself, but they're going to get out of his view. Either way, the Lav not being able to just focus on the objectives like he is now, and with a focus back up on putting HE into the building, maybe we'll see some infantry pushing in at the moment.
We're gonna need to burn Charlie 2. This area's a kill zone.
Bro, I love your accent.
Good smoke. Trying to just obscure the defender's vision here.
My squad's gonna RTB back. We're gonna get engaged by the infantry here, so we're pulling back.
Russian machine gun still on the hillside, and honestly he's very exposed here. Just needs someone to be a little brave, hit a different angle, and hold on a second. That is a tank round.
Yo, the radio might be in the church.
And that is actually from the Leopard.
I got enemy infantry shooting.
So Leopard unleashing his main gun, and he's way out.
Yeah, enemy vehicle heading southeast bound.
Way on the ridge here, and the reason he's doing this is because you've gotten a lot of infantry AT on the hillside as they pushed in, but also if you look on the map, our right side here, you have the armored column now pushing in for the Russians. I don't know if they have their other tank up just yet, but tank and BMP 1 AM pushing up this northeast corner and the road. They're going to wrap around right around here in just a few minutes.
One of those two.
Infantry have now breached with that Leopard pushing into, or throwing rounds into the top building, and then the Lav 6 as well offering that support. That's what we were saying earlier. The infantry just needed a little bit of that combined arms, and they've pretty much cleared it out. I don't know if there was a hab. No, there was a rally. So rally squash on the objective. That is going down. A few more defenders. You got Xander, Floppenhagen, Air-Grab, Criminal, G-Man, Hails a Bay, Zaz again coming on up, and they're just trying to get back into the objective and contest it. Lav 6, I think there was an ambush. Logi or transport, that was a transport. Red trying to get his RPGs out in the Logi lines. But the fight, once again, all over the objective. I think they've actually stalled it, and they have. Russians able to push back onto the objective here. 162 tickets to 717. Very, very meat grindy of a fight at the moment. Infantry without their vehicle support are just going to have to get into some really close quarter firefights, and it seems right now the Russians just winning those, and the Lav, I think, foreskin. Oh my god! Really, you made me say that. Vinny and Desi
We're here to help you
falling
guys.
back, and I think they actually got tagged
We're RTV
by
now.
the T90 here.
You want to get picked up? I can do a hot drop.
Negative, negative. I only got 3 guys on me. My brother's
T90.
helping out radio now.
It's a radio.
Pushing up. And we're gonna let them. Ooh, hold on a second. So T90s get into position, and you can see just on the other side of the ridge, Leopard through the fog and knocks out the engine of the MTLB. He might be able to get a second shot off to finish it. And he does. MTLB goes down. Luckily, it wasn't the BMP 1AM or the T90, but T90 is just off that back right flank. Command machine gun now opening up, and that's actually going to let the Leopard know that it is not all clear. When you know that there's an enemy tank right around the corner, you really want your vehicle to be a little quiet so you can take advantage of that. But now that Leopard knows, he hears the coax for that command machine gun. And we're going to be on the Leopard POV here.
Heli still there?
Yeah, he's still there.
He's holding, right?
Hey, 999, I need, Nas, can you do me a huge favor with that lock?
Squad 9, don't push in. Don't push in yet, Squad 9. They have ATs and everything there.
Leopard looks like
Squad 9, if
he's
you
going to
want
be
set up
stationary here, so we're going to move on back on over to the point because the tug of war is now starting to just barely
That's what I'm thinking.
turn the Canadians' way. RPG from Matuza goes in, frag round knocks out a couple on the objective, but you have plenty of reinforcements now without an actual team spawn. And hold on a second. Are you kidding me? Mortars are actually landing on the armor position. This is huge. You see, NFZ iCup actually got killed. He was the commander of the T90, and now the mortar team for the Canadians are mortaring that position, actually doing a little bit of damage. And I mean, it will take a lot, but vehicles can get killed by mortars. We've seen it here in Eye in the Sky. And the Worm slowly backing up his T90 with Nimble Lobster.
No. We're holding.
That is huge. I love this type of play.
I'm just gonna get that, bro.
Great work by the Canadians. That is going to cause this T90 to move, get into less advantageous position.
If you want to try and get him.
And once again, that needs to happen because the Russians...
Oh shit.
Oh my goodness! Are you kidding?
God fucking damn it.
Airstruck! Command strike knocks out the Leopard. Leopard was stationary for so long. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. The big brain play of the mortars having us all focus on the T90. Leopard thinks he's safe, but if we see there was an airstrike just perfectly called. Leopard being way too stationary and following up with the 1-2 punch. Infantry are now pushing back in for Russia. Canadian mortars popping back up onto the antenna, and we can see Russians are now capping it back. Infantry need to get onto the objective once again for Canada. Now without a tank, it's going to be very difficult for this Lav to get up into a really comfy position. And I do think this is only like 2 rallies. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think I'm wrong. We got a rally. This is Red 8 rally and Red 10 rally just off the building and bridge here. And it's just 2 squads are contesting this point for Russia. That is incredible. Lav finally getting up into the objective, trying to clear it out. And they're really making the Canadians work for this one. I do think this mortar fob got knocked out earlier. It did. So, oh, wow. This is a Russian fob on the airstrip, and this is dangerous, allowing the Canadians pretty much no breathing room. They only have this one main road now to attack. And I don't know about you guys, but this is invasion. Everything's more or less free game, I feel like. Knocked out this mortar fob a couple minutes earlier, and LAV jumping on Salco and the MTLB. But Russians, they are doing a lot of good work. And once again, ooh, the rally is actually squashed. So Red 8 rally squashed. That's going to knock them out of the reinforcements. It's now just Red 10 able to push back onto the objective. Mortars still hitting this this hillside on the southeast side of the antenna building, this hillside where they've been using to reinforce. Crack Duck as a Canadian sitting in this building here, actually going to prevent any more reinforcements from trying to drop in. A rally, but no, Feline knocks him out. Vinny and Desi coming back in. And you can see if you're just pushing up without the outlines, without the name tags, this is very hard.
Enemy super bomb on road. Just past that bridge with an RPG to level in small country. Thanks.
Yes, sir. I need you guys directly on the road on my observer and in the D325.
Canadians, fresh reinforcements, and this should tip the scales once again in their favor. It is ticking blue, but they have lost a lot of tickets on this objective. Mortars just pounding this building for the Canadians, trying to keep the Russians at bay. They just might be able to. Once again, another, I think, engine popped. Trying to figure out what exactly that was. And Vinny and Desi trying to come around the backside and actually get smacked. Look, a huge push across this main road. TL Chance, Nico, Eric Greb, Salco, Havoc 224, War Criminal, all pushing in. And what is going on here? Lost Cause. What is he going to be able to do here? Is he going to be able to do anything? Tries to fire off a GL. It just goes nowhere. Well, he got a nice up close and personal view.
Hey, Gigs, can I get your guys here so we can
And
put
takes a
this,
few shots at
Aurus up for the
Styly, bringing
guys?
this Logi back. But this is a very important push for Russia. They dropped a rally. We can see this hourglass mark and bags outline on the ridge. And AT Havoc knocks out the engine of Eggy Allset. Actually, doesn't knock off the engine. That was already engine. I think he might have actually turreted him. So Eggy Allset and his Lav are just well and truly out of the fight at the moment. Coax just laying into what they can, but they're gonna need to back on out and get to safety here. And the Russians once again just at the footstep here to claw this back. A couple more infantry and they're going to be able to do it. Plenty of Canadians on the objective. Just another gnome. He needs to make a big play here to wipe the Canadians. Salco fires off. Foxhound goes down. Patrick Webb also. Jopa, and I think that's nearly a wipe on the Canadians. Only a couple more, and they have stalled it again. The Russians, incredible defense here.
Watch out, watch out.
The Lav trying to do what they can. Crewmen out defending, or repairing rather, for the defense. And they're just trying to keep the red wave at bay.
Context, what happened to the tank?
Both helis are down. Just give us 1 second, boys. We're trying to set up a radio right now. We're having difficulty.
Russians, I believe, are now officially capping back. No, Canadians got a couple more bodies in. Wreck coming around the corner, knocks out Zaz. And he might get Feline too with the flankaroonie. He does. It's a two-piece. Gets tagged from the backside, but that was huge. Opening up that flank and finally goes down. Russians, they couldn't have had a better fob to place right at the perfect time here. And they are now capping back radio station. Infantry now streaming back in. Blue Dragon. Ballistic. Trying to get up players like Exhausted Ghost, Jopa, Sheva. You're down to 57 tickets. You really want to make sure your infantry don't give up. You get your medics on here, but that's causing a bit of a problem. Machine gun lights up the Russian defenders.
It's unfortunate.
You're getting a bit more infantry on the backside now for Canada. 45 tickets to 649. And now mortars dropping right on the antenna on the other side of Honey Aim Trash? Honey Am Trash, all right. Well, there you go. I want to say that's still defensive mortars, or offensive mortars here. Oh no, it's going to be defensive because there are no more... Oh, radio was actually dug down or destroyed. So Russian radio was removed.
Guys, 39 tickets, just hold. We're
You double check if that was a save or knocked out by Canadians. Either way, 40 tickets now, 38. But losing that radio might turn the tides to be able to cap this objective with just maybe 15 or 20 tickets left. Vandalize with a good burst fire, but Skeletor mops him up on the stairs.
We need fire support.
Say again.
Air support, armored fire support, IFC.
Name, oh my goodness, he had, look at the stack of bodies here. Absolute meat grinder. And the LAV mops him up. Good, high explosive, and you've got troops on the outside. Knocks out See You Later. Oh, if he could get this rally as well, that'd be huge. Just needs to drive on through, keep the reinforcements from pushing in. 33 tickets now. LAV coming back in. They've been all over this point. Very lucky to have not been killed after being engined earlier. Not quite sure what this helicopter's doing. It feels a little risky. LAV coming in. Trying to mop on up. Oh, and hold on a second. This could be good if you're Russian. Because you have an LAV tearing up the point. Now getting hit by your mortars and the T-90 on the other side of the hill.
Hey, we're having issues. Like, literally, we lost a guy and then we had to RTB back.
LAV just trying to stay mobile, and that's going to be the one way to stay alive and not get engined. Oh, hold on a second. Speaking of engine, he's actually getting engined and rolls right down the hill. That BMP 1AM is going to be able to just mop him up, and that is very unfortunate for the LAV. Still alive, though. If he doesn't fire, they might maybe be able to stay alive. If you fire, you can actually see that cannon fire through the smoke. And oh my goodness, I was going to say, how do they stay alive? And they are not going to be able to. 8 tickets, 7 tickets to 625. And that looks like that will be that. Incredible defense. Really thought the Canadians were going to be able to pull this one out. But Russia coming in with the defenders and the reinforcements right when they needed to. Just fantastic play. Good mechanized from both sides, but there you go. 4 tickets.
Squad 9, drive in there and die. Squad 9, drive in there and die. I want just the tickets.
622 tickets to 0. What a game. 187 kills, 153 deaths, 5 vehicles destroyed, 212 kills, 149 deaths with 10 vehicles destroyed, 62 revives, 38 revives, and let's check out that timeline there. Well, that'll do it. Just nearly had it, but you can see the Russians did actually dig down that radio to save it, so heads up play by them. But that is that. GG's.